These are also how did you?
Maybe I'm not the sort of person who's going to be learning all my life.
Yeah.
I should focus on tomorrow.
Right.
But if you're, so it's totally different. If you're a balabais and you've got wife
For these
and
guys,
kids,
for these guys.
right in the moment,
These guys.
20 minutes to learn the day, and those are the only two options.
Only two options. I mean, you can tell them Hasidus also, but
Shnayim Mikra
Shnai Mikra every day, 20 minutes, or let's say whatever around then,
or Gemara.
or Gemara for 20
Pasha
minutes.
Gemara.
Pasha Gemara.
Pasha.
That's the right time also.
I'll just tell you what. It's only if you know what Gemara is. If you think Gemara is meant to be relevant, then you're missing the boat, I think.
Yeah.
You might say differently. For me, Musa is relevant, fixing my character traits. Chassidut is relevant, makes me closer to Hashem. The purpose of life is to be a mensch who's close to Hashem. For me, Gemara doesn't do that. So when I first started learning Gemara, I hated it. Because I was like, this isn't actually helping me in what I'm meant to do, and it's irrelevant. Who cares if a cow goes and opposite? But then I let go of the Gemara needing to serve that purpose of being relevant, and I understood the Gemara is the opposite of meditation. Meditation is calming and clearing your mind. Gemara is sharpening your mind to the most unbelievable extent that actually shifts your consciousness and your spirituality and how you learn Chassidut and how you speak to your wife and everything. It's basically gym. It's gym for your mind. So if you've never learned deep Gemara, you'll never be holding in life properly. Especially if you're not going to be learning Gemara after yeshiva, then this is the place to get that skill.
So that's what we're here.
That's what you said.
That's what we're here.
Like just like you said.
No, that was much better side.
How was it? Gemara is great.
I hated it for 2 years. And I don't learn it now.
I know.
But for like 8 years. For 8 years, for many hours a day I learned. But 2 years I hated it.
8 years.
8 years I smashed it. And now I don't really know.
You don't really know.
I got what I needed. Some people say, no, you have to see the whole chapter. I got what I needed from Gemara. I still would like to go through Shas at some time in my life, but it's not my major. I don't think everyone needs to be sitting in a basement just learning Gemara all day. In fact, I think most people shouldn't.
You talk about sharpening your character traits, like becoming a better person. How do you keep on? You've been doing that for a long time, obviously. How do you
I'm
keep?
perfect now. I don't need to.
I know you're perfect, but I'm asking for a guy like me who's never going to be
Well,
perfect.
you've got ages.
How do I keep on finding new things to learn and new things to do to continue to work on my character? Like it's just new books come out. How do you do that?
Yeah. Do you have a meditation practice?
No.
Then you're not even on the boat. If you're not sitting for 3 minutes a day focusing on your breath coming in and out through your nose and calming your mind down, you're not even in the consciousness game. Because your mind's just, now sometimes it's positive, sometimes negative. If you don't have a gap in your thinking during the day, then there's no real consciousness. So forget just, I'm going to now try and speak less Lashon Hara and work on my anger. That's cute, but those are just the branches. Let's get to the root, which is your mind. So if you're not meditating, you haven't even started to calm and clear your mind. So all the work you're doing on your character traits is like band-aids, but you're not getting to the root of the problem, which is your mind.
How do you work on your breath? You just do it by yourself, or you have there's a video?
The Kavana app, a Jewish meditation app that I teach
No
on.
way.
Yeah.
The Kavana.
Now there's a paid thing and a free thing. On the free thing is my introduction to Jewish mindfulness course. And I think that would be very good to do. I've got my little booklet, simple, which will give you all the basics you need. For 30 shekels, should be $30,000 that book.
Which
Yeah.
one? Simple truths?
No, simple. It's called simple.
Simple.
Little booklet called simple. But very most important thing is remember our attitude to growth is this is a really exciting opportunity, not this is a heavy burden. I've got to really work on myself and meditate. It's like, wow, I'm going to be great. Just like people who want to be ripped, like going to the gym. They're like, and even though it hurts, it's like, no, but I'm invested.
Get to do it.
Yeah, I want to get the pump and the gains. So too, there's no greater gains than meditation. And also meditation doesn't mean sitting for 2 hours with your legs behind your head. It just means 3 to 5 minutes a day. Focus on your breath. Before you put on your tefillin, a few deep breaths. Be present. In the middle of mincha, a few deep breaths. Be present. Very not crazy stuff.
In through your nose, out through your mouth.
If you can breathe in through your nose, out through your nose, that's better. But definitely in through your nose. Out maybe through your mouth.
You like Wim Hof?
Yeah, I think good stuff. I think Wim Hof needs to be combined with nose breathing. Wim Hof's very into, and I think there's a place for that. Wim Hof is very intense, and that is an experience that you need, but you need then the...
My brother and I used to do something called Wim Med, which means Wim Hof, and then we do meditation.
No, I like that.
Alright, enjoy the class.
Thanks, man.
See you.
Are you the one who asked for the Kiruv
Yeah.
training class? I have it.
You have it.
You need to WhatsApp me and say, can you send it please?
Can you give me your number?
Yes. 058
058.
430.
If I do the plus 972, then did you do 05?
No, you just need to do the 58.
58. 4322.
No, 8692. Okay. Alright, kids. I'm going to teach you something special. You ready?
Yeah.
Sefirat HaOmer is mentioned in this week's Parsha.
What is?
Sefirat HaOmer, counting the Omer. Oh, maybe we'll record just in case. I'm being attacked on social media. Okay. Okay, it says this: "Sfatim lechem mimachros Shabbos," and you should count for yourself from the day after Pesach. These 49 days of Sefirat HaOmer, and it says that in this week's Parsha, in Parshas Omer. And this is what Rabbi Natan says. Rabbi Natan, the main disciple of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, and he says this: "Usvatem lechem," and you should count for yourselves. Lechem la'atzmechem, for yourself. Do it for yourself. Now remember, all of the mitzvahs, everything we're doing is really good for us. Everything Hashem tells us to do is because it's good for us. Everything Hashem says don't do is because it's not good for us. So Hashem's saying, don't do it for me. I don't need it, do it for yourself. Now we have spoken about this before. We should be on a very high level where we say, I am doing it for you, Hashem, because I love you. And that's called a healthy, beautiful relationship. Hashem says, I'm giving you the mitzvahs for your benefit. And we're saying, thank you so much, I really enjoy them, and I'm grateful for the benefit, but really I'm doing them for you because I love you. It's a very beautiful, symbiotic relationship. Yes?
It says Fatim Lachem.
It's Fatim Lechem.
Sephardim, the reason why some Sephardim don't wear the tzitzit outside is because it says Viu Lachem tzitzit. We take it to mean that it should be for ourselves and we don't put it outside. It's interesting that we don't use the same logic.
Probably. But it can't be across the board because it says by the lulav and etrog, lachachtem lechem. So what, you're meant to put the lulav and etrog in your pocket?
Interesting. I wonder where Rabbi Natan.
Yeah. Brilliant. So you'll ask. So this is what Rabbi Natan says. Lechem la'atzmechem davka, really for yourself, shekol echad tzarich l'spor Sefirat HaOmer shu bechinas his chatchut la'atzmai. כפי מה שהוא ולא ייפול בדעתו מחמר שנדמה לו שחבריו בני גילו טובים ממנו הרבה. Do it on your level. Don't ever look at other people and say, wow, he's holier than me, he's davening better than me, unless it's going to inspire you. But if it's going to make you feel bad and say, I'm so far behind, don't look at other people. Lechem, on your level. You do it on your level, that's all that counts. Really, because we don't know who's higher and who's lower. I don't know. Maybe someone who's struggling with an area of their life, and for 2 months they don't do the negative act, and then they do the negative act, and then bad, but then they strengthen themselves and go again. Maybe that person's struggle is actually a much more big struggle for them than the guy who's getting up to daven nates every day. So he's so holy and amazing. But I just don't know, because you're only ever judged on how far you've come from where you started based on your resources. So I just don't. Never look at other people, and certainly don't feel bad about yourself when you look, wow, he's so amazing. I'll never get to that level. What's wrong with me? Don't put yourself down. כי אף על פי שהוא מידה טובה ולהיות עניו להחזיק כל אדם טוב ממנו, even though it's a very good character trait and quality to find the good in other people and say, wow, they are great, that is it, wow, and look up to them. Don't make it al yipol badato. Shal yizeh zeh chas v'shalom en zeh anava. Don't then feel bad about yourself. That's not called anava, that's not humility. Putting yourself down is not humility. Someone who's truly humble actually feels very good about themselves. I am great, Baruch Hashem, but Baruch Hashem helped me, and I had a good childhood, and amazing. So true anava, true humility, isn't saying I'm bad and people are better than me. That's not true humility. Adarabba zeu gadlus gadol. That's actually gaiva. It's arrogance. It's arrogance to put yourself down.
How?
Because you're not meant to be perfect. You're meant to be on a journey. So if you keep putting in, you think you're perfect. You think if you make a mistake and then beat yourself up, you're arrogant. Because only tzaddikim don't make mistakes. And what, you think you're a tzaddik? You're not a tzaddik. Power. So what you have to do is ki asol harhe achrei hamakom ומי יודע מאיזה מקום הוא ובאיזה מקום עוד נמשך על ידי המעשה. You don't know where other people came from. Now also you shouldn't look down on other people. You're like, oh, he's davening like that, he's doing that. How did he? Maybe he's doing amazing things for his level. You can go into some minyanim and they daven really fast. There are a whole lot of chakras in, and then you can sit there and be like, these people aren't saying all the words that they don't really mean. Or you can say, look at these Jews turning them to daven. Beautiful. Amazing. Wow. They didn't need to come to daven. They could have been on their phones. And if they're on their phone in davening, you're like, okay, so they couldn't have done. We always try to find the best in other people. But if you're not finding the best in yourself, if you keep putting yourself down, it's hard to see the best in other people. Ki ein adam domeh lechaver klal. Because no one's to say, you can't compare yourself to anyone else. Just don't know. This is why the Lubavitcher Rebbe didn't like the word kiruv. Kiruv, I'm going to bring you closer. He says, how do you know you're closer? What, because you got a bigger beard? Well, actually, that does make you closer. But apart from that one, how do you know you're closer? Because I'm keeping Shabbos and they're not. Yeah, but maybe they're speaking to Hashem from their heart in English. More than, I just don't know.
Having a bigger beard brings you closer.
No, I was joking.
Okay.
Okay. You've got to be careful what you say to the foundations, guys. Although, if you look at a picture of any gadol, any tzaddik, any of the greatest people, Sephardi, Ashkenazi, Litva, they all have beards. It doesn't mean if you have a beard you'll be holy, but there's got to be something to it. But don't have a beard and bad character traits rather than good character traits and no beard. So let's put it in perspective. But if you can have good character traits and a beard, why not? Why not? If the top 200 tennis players in the world use the same racket, if you buy that racket, doesn't mean you'll be in the top 200 players, but I'd still buy it because if they all use it, it must be the one to use. So if they all have beards, but it's easy actually because it depends on your wife. If your wife likes it, you have it, and if she doesn't, you don't. It's simple. Although you probably shouldn't marry a woman who doesn't want you to. That's why it says Fatim Lechem. On your level, who you are. So I've been talking a lot recently about the different energies in the world on each day of the Omer. So today is Malchut Shebenetzach. What does Malchut Shebenetzach mean? Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I say Netzach is the power to drive forward, discipline, eternity, victory, Lenatzeach. And Malchus is a kli, to bring that power into the world. And there's also some humility in Malchus. I'm not here about myself. So I am going to be pushing forward, but not stamping on other people by pushing forward. If you were to ask Reb Morgenstern what Malchus Shebenetzach is, he talked to you for 8 hours about the Das Elyon, the Chachma, the Bina, the Bechinas of the Abin, the Imma, the Shem, Yichud, Kud, Shebrich, Shchinte, and the Yud and the Hey with the Sagol and the Nakud and the Bita. Because he knows everything about everything, every Gemara he knows, every Kabbalah he knows everything. Do I feel bad about myself that I don't know that? I don't. I'm doing well on my level. I know what I know. For you, just knowing that it's Malchus Benetzach, but not knowing anything else. I have no idea what Malchus is. I don't know what Netzach is, but I know that today is Malchus Benetzach, and I say to Hashem, look, whatever this thing is, help me connect to it. Hashem says, great, that's your this. On your level, same as me and Ram Morgenstern. That's why we have a Korban Oile V'Yored. The special Korban, and depends on how rich you are. So if you're very, very rich, you bring a cow, an amazing huge cow. If you're very, very poor, you bring a bit of flour or a bird. Whose korban is more precious to Hashem? Equal. Actually, the Sfarim say that even the poor guy's is actually more important, because it was harder for him to bring it was harder for him to bring his little than it was for the rich man to bring his lot. Same idea. You don't compare. You just don't know. Never look down on anyone. You can look up to people, again, if it's going to inspire you to grow. But not if you're jealous and envious and I wish, and definitely not if you're putting yourself down. I'm so bad compared to them. Tzarik lisbo hayamim la'atzmo yidaike v'yal yipol oisei chaver klalchas v'shulim v'zeh sevadim lechem la'atzmechem daike laven heiti v'che'en ekadfa. So it says in our holy Sfarim, Echad Haya Abraham. Abraham was unique. He was unique. This is why he called Abraham HaIvri. Ivri means, this is where we get Ivrit from. It means a cross. He was on the other side of the world in terms of philosophy. He believed in Hashem. Everyone else was pagans. So Echad Haya Abraham. But this is how we learn this. She'ika is karvud Abraham Avinu עליו השלום להשם יברך היה על ידי שחשב תמיד שהוא רק אחד בעולם. לא הסתכל על שום מונע ומעכב ובלבל. He just looked at himself. This is a deeper way to look at these words. Not that I'm different to everyone, but I'm me. So what's everyone else got to do with me? I'll do my thing. And he wasn't messed up, and he didn't face obstacles and confusion and things in his way. There are many different obstacles in the world, and there are many different challenges, and no two people have the same challenge and obstacle. You might have the same exam to do, so you say, yes, we do have the same challenge, we both have this exam. Yes, but you're completely different people, and you had that childhood, and God gave you that much intelligence, and God gave him that much intelligence, and you were tired that day, and you were not tired that day, and you just split up with a girlfriend, and you just met a girlfriend. You just don't know. Everyone's going through different stuff, and this is really the way we're going to start really loving other people, because you can't judge them. We judge people, look down on them, but when you understand how do you know, then it's easier to love people, even if they're not nice. And we really say this a lot. Often, when people are not nice, it's because they're in pain or trauma. It shows that there's something wrong. So you should actually feel compassion. Someone's not nice to you, you should feel compassion. Love. Now, very hard to feel compassion for someone who's not nice to you if you don't have a healthy sense of self, because you're getting your sense of self and they're putting you down. But once you've got a healthy sense of self, they can't put you down. They can't offend you. They can't insult you. Whatever they say. If someone came up to me now and said, "You're this," but I actually had a student who was actually very bipolar. It wasn't his fault, but he was a really, really, really nice guy, but he got manic sometimes. And I hadn't seen him for a while, and I saw him in the park, and he just said, "You're a effing bitch, you loser," just out of nowhere. And I didn't take it personally at all. A, because I knew his mental state, but B, even if he didn't have a crazy mental state, I was like, that's got nothing to do with me. If I felt I'd done something wrong to him, then maybe I'd have taken some of the, but I know I didn't. And I said, okay, kind of walked away. 6 months later I saw him, he came up to me and said, I'm sorry, I can't believe I said that to you. And I said, it's fine. I'm not insultable. Now don't sit there thinking, okay, let's try and insult her. I bet I can insult her. I think you probably could. But if you did, I'd punch you in the face. So don't.
What did you say back to him?
I said, okay. I don't know, I just completely was like, okay. There was no point engaging. I said, okay, I hope you're well, let me know if I can be there for you. So. I've said this a few times that the more crazy, intense someone's critical of you or negative, the less it's about you. It's like, dude. If they're saying something to you in an actually calm way and giving you feedback and it's negative and critical but they're quite calm, I'd take that much more seriously. Because they clearly are more emotionally balanced human beings. So maybe there's something to what they're saying. But once they're freaking out, I'm like, this guy's just not healthy. Even from that guy, I have to think maybe there is some truth in his words. I can still learn from God wanted me to hear that. So I can still learn from it. I can leave aside the negative critical stuff and take the message in that, which might be, yes, if someone comes up to you and says, you're not kind, you're stingy, you're so horrible, so you can ask yourself, well, is there truth in that? Could I be kinder? And maybe you'll say, you know what, I could be kinder. Or you could say, no, I feel I'm actually being very kind, so you have to stand up. But you're not getting shaken up by the external world. You have to have very strong, healthy sense of self to do that. Which means you never put other people down either. If you feel good about yourself, you won't put other people down, you want to uplift people. There are many different obstacles and weakening of the consciousness. That might mean I just feel sad today and I can't show up for myself and my family. That might mean I'm confused, I'm upset. Like, people go through stuff. Now I wouldn't use it as an excuse. You actually have to be on the level where even if you do feel sad, you still show up for your family. But for other people, we can give them the excuse.
Giving the excuse for not showing up?
Yes. This is how I say, no, this is how I explain it. You can never say, I'm just an angry person, that's how God made me. I have an addictive personality, that's how God made me. That's just who I am. And I get really angry as well. You can't say that for yourself. You can say, yes, maybe God gave me this nature, but I'll overcome my nature. But if someone else is behaving in a bad way and being angry, then you give them an excuse. Say, well, Hashem made them like that, it's not their fault. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you let them abuse you or don't call the police if they're being bad. You have justice. But in your mind, you let other people off the hook, but don't let yourself off the hook. Once again, when I say let them off the hook, that doesn't mean let them perpetuate their abusive relationship with you.
Right.
That's not what I mean.
It's just accept.
Just try to understand them. It doesn't justify what they're doing, but you can try to understand where they're coming from. They wouldn't be doing this if they weren't abused as a kid. There's no excuse. They can't use that as an excuse though. You abuse your kid and you go to court and you say it's because my dad abused me, you don't get away with it. You can't use that. But for you to try and judge favorably, then because so I can't give you the black and white rule. This means it because we just don't know. Yourself, other people, we just don't know. וכנגד כל מיני מניעס וחלישס הדעס ובעולם צריכים ללך בדרך וכינס אחד היה אמר. So what you have to do with all of your own confusions and difficulties, just keep walking. This is my path, that's their path. What's that got to do with me? Nothing. Even what they think of me, what's that got to do with it? None of my business what they think of me. As long as I'm being, if they think I'm a bad person because I'm a bad person, that is my business. If people are judging you, that's not your business. And by the way, no one's actually thinking about you very much. You think everyone's obsessed with you, so you're obsessed with what people think about you. They're not thinking about you at all. Nothing. They got their own lives. לחשוב כאילו יחידי בעולם. You have to feel as if you're the only person on the face of the planet.
Really? It says that?
That doesn't mean ignore other people. You have to do chesed and help them.
Yeah.
It's not saying that.
Sure.
It's saying in your avodah, it's my avodah. What's the rest of anyone's else? It's just not my business.
Pardon? In your, what was the word you used? In your.
לחשוב כאילו הוא יחידי בעולם. You have to imagine that you are unique in the world, or alone in the world, or you're just one in the world. Maybe unique. I got my step. I've just got to walk my path. That's why I say, when people say, well, I feel I'm so far behind, I'm this old and I just got to yeshiva and I don't know what it is. It's like, you got your path, man. I got to yeshiva when I was 29. That's why when people come here and they're like, how old are you? And they're like 24, and you got 5 years on me. When you're my age, your beard's going to be like ridiculous. So we said, you look at other people if it's going to inspire you to grow and get better, but not if it's going to make you feel bad. And that's what it means to fight them. Just do your avodah, do your own thing. Keep your eyes on your people. Do your avodah. That's my thing. I remember my parents. I didn't like it at the time necessarily. They were the best parents I believe you could ever possibly have. Sometimes I'd say, but my friends, and they'd say, yeah, but they're not my kids. I wanted to use it in the shoot. My friends are smoking weed. My friends are doing it, and they say, okay, mazel tov, great, but they're not my kids. You're my kid. No? What's your friends got to do with this conversation? You're my child. And you know who you are. I respect you. You're a mensch. Mensches don't do that, even if their friends are doing it. You're a mensch. You're my kid. Special. Fine. We run out of time, but that's a good enough lesson for you to take with you for the rest of your life. Do your avodah. Don't let yourself off the hook, but don't beat yourself up. Walk your path with commitment, motivation, self-compassion, playfulness, joy. And then you could be an example for other people. Bring everyone else with you. Shabbat.
I'm not quite sure how to work this, but let's see. You know how to work this thing?
No idea. Is it Dylan's?
Yeah.
No clue.
Hello. I don't want to touch the wrong thing.